That's Buck, not Oz. It'll take me a second here to kind of collect my thoughts, but I started this series a while ago, a long fucking time ago. It's like, I call it Duck Hunting Stories Volume 1. And I listened to a podcast by Mike Ritland, and it was about this dog Cairo and his handler Will, and just kind of the story of the dog, and it really kind of fucking punched me in the guts, because it was like, it just brought back a ton of shit about me and Oz and the times we had, and it doesn't compare to them, but like, it really hit me in the feels, and made me think I should really revisit, you know, and revisit all that happened, revisit Oz, and revisit our stories, because I mean, I never told all the fucking stories, and then they're endless, and you guys saw, if you watched back then, you saw a lot of them, but we really had a lot of fucked up shit happen to us together. And I mean, like totally fucking together. So yeah, that's this story, I guess. I don't know if I was 17 or 18. I was probably 17, which would have made it Oz's second year of hunting. And we were hunting this dike that's built perfectly north-south. And the thing about this dike is it separates two bodies of water, and it's built perfectly north-south. So generally the birds don't like it, and it's a riprap, it's a rock jetty, basically divider in between two fucking bodies of water. And the only way you can hunt it, and the only way the birds like it, is if it's a perfect west wind. I mean, 270 degrees and ripping. Like, anything less than 15 miles an hour, don't fuck around with it. Anything more than 30, and you're just kind of pissing into the wind. And I made videos hunting this spot too, but this is one of the first times we hunted it, and I was still pretty stupid and hadn't really developed like all of my technique or tactics, or it's mostly gear related, but I didn't have a real solid grasp on what I was doing yet. But I knew I was doing, like, me and Oz, we killed our first goose in the same fucking spot. And if you hunt that spot on the right day, you can kill basically anything, and in any quantity, because it's perfect on the right day. Well, that's Buck being a fucking douchebag because the neighbors are out. But okay, so we're gonna go fucking hunt this dike. I'll have to shut him out so he doesn't fucking interrupt me or interrupt my train of thought. But so we're gonna hunt this dike, right? And it's not that far. It's maybe a mile, probably less than a mile. And hump shit in on my back. The thing about it is, it's all like basketball-sized rocks. Is what you're hunting on. It's what you're sitting on, etc., etc. And I was dumb then, and I still used like mushroom-shaped anchors for my decoys, and like the braided acrylic line. So the way I set my decoys up that day was everything tucked into the bank, like a flock of birds would be. You know, they want to be out of the wind, and this dike's probably not even 10 feet tall, sticking up in between these two bodies of water. So, you know, those birds are going to be tucked right up into the fucking bank. And so I set my decoys so I can retrieve those decoys that are close. Well, if you used to watch my videos, you saw Oz would fetch decoys. And if you know anything about ducks and how they like to work, if they can land with a lone bird away from your decoys, or in their mind away from the main raft, and then swim in, that's what they'd prefer to do. So I took one decoy with a mushroom anchor and threw it as far out as I could. And that was like, that's the central point of my spread. Like, I got all these other decoys right up next to the bank, like within 10 feet of me, or within 10 feet of where I can get, and then I have one like 25, probably 20-25 yards out. But it's tied up with a mushroom anchor and a line that won't break. Not the break free, none of that shit. I mean, we were using cord and mushroom anchors. And the plan was to have Oz retrieve that decoy because he would fetch decoys. So we hunt. It's not great. It's not terrible. I mean, the way I remember it, we just had a decent hunt. I don't think we shot a limit of birds. I know we didn't shoot a limit of birds. I don't remember shooting a limit of birds. But I know we shot a few birds that day. And so I go and fish all these other decoys back, and I'm having problems with them snagging on rocks and shit. You know, whatever. In my dumb fucking 16, 17, 18-year-old mind, you know, I'm not putting it all fucking together yet. And I get my spread back onto the bank, and then the last bird out there is Oz's job, right? Like, I can mark him and send him on decoys. So I do that, and I had no intention of getting wet this day, so I'm dressed in like a heavy base layer, like polypropylene, heavyweight pants, and then like I don't know, at that point in time, probably just like a pair of fucking tan denim cargo pants, or not denim, but like a cotton twill probably, and a decent base layer, and my coat, and my face mask, and my hat. And I send Oz on this decoy, and he goes out there, and he grabs it like normal, and he starts swimming back until he hits the end of the slack. And then when he hits the end of the slack, being, you know, stubborn, and I don't know, the podcast thing and like listening to him really makes me think about what I did as like a dog trainer, and like what I could have done better, or what I could have done right, or what I could have done wrong. Like, me now would have never sent him after that decoy. It was a fucking stupid idea. But me at the time, I didn't fucking know that. And so I sent him, and it was snagged, and so he pulls harder. When it pulls back, he just pulls harder. Well, then he starts swimming around it. And he's still wearing a collar, because I was still stupid, you know, I just didn't fucking know any better. Well, he swims around it enough times, probably like once, for me to realize that he's fucked and we're having an issue. And so, you know, what can I think at that point? What am I gonna do? I'm standing here in boots, and he's out there entangled in a snag, in a decoy, that he's not gonna be able to untangle. Fucking Buck is it's fucking pissing me off. Buck! What are you digging for? Quit it! That's naughty. That's a naughty dog. Give me that. Hey, give me that. Give me the ball. You fuck. Give me the ball. This is the kind of shit I have to deal with. Thank you. Anyway, so I'm standing there and I watch Oz become entangled in this decoy that's not gonna be freed. You know, so I got a lot of thoughts going through my head and shit at the time. And obviously stand there and watch him drown isn't isn't fucking one of them. So I take my park off, I strip down, I get naked down to my boxers, which I don't know why I kept my boxers on, but I did. And I had a pair of Danner Pronghorn zip boots at the time. I think I went through 3 pairs of those fucking things, but Pronghorns now suck dick, but so I had zip boots, so it's not like I had to unzip my boots or anything. I'm pretty sure I took my socks off, but I really don't remember. I know I had underwear on, because as I went into the water, I distinctly remember the water hitting my balls and shit, you know, and the stomach and the back. And then once I was in, you know, I was just swimming. But, and I had a small multi-tool, and I put it in my mouth, and I carried it in my teeth, and I swam out there, and I cut him loose. And it's just like, that old style decoy line, I don't know if I have any here, like it's just the stereotypical decoy line. It's just the fucking braided fucking nylon or acrylic. I'm pretty sure it's acrylic. Like a good end melts on it, and that's all it was, like stereotypical decoy line. But it's, if you're swimming, imagine trying to break that if you're swimming. So while I'm getting naked, you know, he's still swimming around this thing, entangling himself more, and he's starting to like beat the water with his front paws and shit. And so yeah, I stripped down, and it wasn't like going for like a cheeky swim where it's like, oh, the water's cold and it hits my balls. I mean, it was like, yeah, it hits my balls, yeah, it hits my chest, and I take a deep breath. But I mean, at that point, there really wasn't turning back for me. Like I just went fucking swimming, and I swam out to him, and I fucking cut him loose, and I cut my hand in the process. Not like bad, but I was bleeding when I came back in, and I just cut him loose and fucked off, you know. But it was probably, I don't know, probably like 20-mile-an-hour winds, probably. I don't think they were 25. They were probably 20 mile an hour, and it was November, and it was just, it was really fucking cold, and so just cut him loose, and as soon as I cut him loose, I was swimming back to the bank. And this isn't like this isn't the ocean, and it's not like a natural bank. I mean, it's a steep rock bank, so like the distance between where you touch and where the water's deep is pretty short. It's probably like a 45-degree bank. I don't fucking know. But so I get back to the bank, and I remember being surprised at how quickly I dried, if that makes sense. Like I know I wasn't dry, but it was a strong enough wind that like I didn't really feel wet. And I don't know, I guess I haven't really thought about it a whole lot, but I try to think of, like, I knew I needed to make this video, but I tried not to fucking overthink it too much, because then what would come out would be over fucking rehearsed and shit. But I got out of the water, and I remember being surprised at how quickly I dried, and I tried to stand as close to the water as I could, so I had the dike to protect me from the wind, and I got my clothes back together and shit, and I'm pretty sure I put my parka on first. I really don't know, but I don't know. Like I don't know if I put my socks back on or not, but I know I got dressed. I know I fucking got dressed, and I know by the time I got dressed, I didn't have the dexterity to like zip up my jacket or to button my pants, and I got as best dressed as I could, and then I just fucking laid right above the water. There's the water level, and there's the wind coming the strong west wind coming over the dike, and I'm facing east on the backside slope. And like all I could do was just go get in a fetal position. I don't know if that was smart, I don't know if it was fucking stupid, but that's what I did. And I just went and I laid there in a little fucking ball. And I don't think I fell asleep, but I don't really know. And I don't really remember. I just remember having a really fucking hard time getting my shit back on, and then knowing that I couldn't fucking do any more, and then just curling up into a ball and fucking laying there. And my girlfriend's home now, so probably gonna get bitched out, but so I laid there, and like lucky stars or angels or fucking whatever, well, a guy I knew, CJ, he happened to be walking the dike that day, and he found me, and he carried my shit back for me. Like, I don't know if it was an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours later, but he ended up fucking humping my shit back to the car for me. And I just walked with him, and it's pretty much what I remember about it. So, yeah. Hunting Stories, Volume 2.